Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's what date is this? Tuesday. It's Tuesday and sunset is happening right now, so probably not gonna be a long video. Just a short talky one. Um yeah. So last week has been a bit of a full on for me. Like actually only one thing happened, but that one thing kind of filled up the whole week, even splashing out into this week. Also, I am in the balcony, but I can't open my window door because my window door because the cat is sleeping inside the wardrobe. Um, the cat got spayed. Oh, so last week, exactly last week on a Tuesday, the rescue basically messaged me and said, "Hey, good news, we got money, so we're gonna dissect the cat." So it happened very quickly. It happened on a Thursday, so I got 2 days to prepare myself, like mentally and emotionally as well. She went in on Thursday morning, came back Thursday afternoon, and she's dyslexic. So now it's like day 4, day 5 after surgery. Her incision scar is still there. It's a bit bleeding, there's nothing really to be concerned about. I think it is healing. She was on drugs for 3 days after, so 2 days after the surgery. So from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday yesterday. So today is the first day where she doesn't have any drugs on her, and she has been very vocal after. I think I'm not sure because she's been changing a lot. So which means now she is actually available for adoption. Um, so yeah, so that's good for her, but really sad for me because I'm really finding myself difficult to detach about the whole situation. But at the same time, logically, I definitely understand this is the best course of action for her because I don't have money. I only have like $3 in my bank account, and I like basically I spent it on all on her food and all her stuff. So she got food, she got litter, so don't worry about that. But if you want to help, go to coffee.com/Valorine. You can help me out as well, like if you want to do that. So yeah, it was definitely, if it's an emotional decision, which it is not, I definitely would definitely keep her, but it would definitely be so irresponsible because I don't have any money for her vet bills. I wouldn't have any money for vet insurance. I won't have any money. Like, what happens if I, get kicked out and all of that, because that's definitely a reality, a possible reality. And it's not like, we are living in like I'm not in my 20s anymore. We don't go through life just based on vibes, which I definitely did. I feel like I cannot be reckless with another living being as I am reckless with my own life. I'm definitely very reckless when it comes to my own life and my own life decision. Like that's for sure. Like even this is a reckless decision. All my face, my skin, everything. It's like my poverty is a decision, is probably a result of my own reckless decision making. But I feel like I don't want to drag another living being with it. Like, also went outside today and I feel like I might be projecting, but the feeling out there is a bit, it's not heavy, but it feels a bit sharp, edgy wise. It feels a bit dangerous. That's what it feels like. It feels a bit dangerous. The first thing I saw today was like a police car basically in front of my apartment building. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the second time, it also happened again. Another police car is like somewhere very close. And I'm like, what is going on? And also, like, my news feed has been filled with a lot of just news, which is very unpleasant. But at the same time, it just feels, and also because I'm in cat kind of centric world at the moment, all my Facebook feed is basically all cats being dumped all over Sydney. Mainly, I think most of the reason is money, and also the other reason is like a relocation, so they have to move. But mostly money because most of the cats get sick or get injured or by an accident or something. So people can't afford the bills and stuff, so they just dump it out, which is very dangerous. I feel like I know life circumstances change and everything, but it's really scary. What if like this cat is being adopted by people like that, like very nice, very, oh my god, because very new is gonna be, oh, very pretty and very blah blah blah, and after a year or two they're like, oh, let's rehome her and stuff. I don't want, the cat being shuffled around. But this is the reality of life, I think, at the moment. It's just very dystopian. I suppose that's the word that I'm looking for. Very dystopian. I'm starting to feel my age, meaning I'm starting not to understand how the world works anymore, and it feels extremely scary because I don't have any control over it. I don't know how to navigate it anymore. Like I never really knew how to navigate it in the first place, but now I'm getting more lost than before. I thought I had an inkling in how to handle it, but now it's like I definitely have no idea how to handle it. And I don't know, life is a bit confusing. The cat is also feeling different these days, maybe because of the spaying, maybe because now she's available for adoption. Now I'm trying to detach myself quite a bit, trying not to get too overly attached, but still at the same time showing affection, showing care, etc. etc. The cat is eating a lot more ever since the spaying. I thought it was the drugs that was giving her the munchies, but I think it's not. And she's becoming very hyper as well. She wasn't as hyper as this before. Now she's doing zoomies. Well, she never did it before the spay. How the spay was supposed to calm her down, but I think it's ramp up her energy more, which really scares me because I really want her stitch to still stitched up, but I think she ripped it a bit open. I'm also doing really stupid things, and I don't mean like obvious, reckless, stupid things. I mean like everyday stupid, reckless things that I label as reckless anyway. Like, I saw the bill for energy bills, and it's like, oh, it sent me, a shiver down my spine because, bills always do that because it makes me anxious and stuff. But rather than constricting myself, rather than contracting, rather than saving money by not using the heater or by not doing this and not doing that, I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm like, okay, let's just use the heater more. How stupid is that? I knew it was stupid, and yes, I still do it. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I feel like it is. Is it a rebellion of some sort? But who am I rebelling? It's like so stupid. Like, am I rebelling against my own bank account? Like there's also I don't know, a bunch of other things as if that I am trying to challenge the universe, as if that, you abandoned me, answer me this one more time, but not really. I feel like I'm letting go a little bit, well, right now anyway, because anything can happen. Of trying to be childish when it comes to that, when it comes to the universe. About yesterday, I think I had this outburst at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. is when I feed her, basically, when I feed the cat. I get up at 5 a.m. I clean the litter box. I swap the water with fresh water, and then I gave her her meal, and then I went back to bed. Usually, that's how it goes. Um, and when I went back to bed, I had this burst of sobbing. It's like out of nowhere, basically saying to myself, "Oh, it wasn't out of nowhere. We were playing, and then she nipped me. She basically bite me, somewhere. But it wasn't a. It wasn't a. I didn't think it was drawing any blood whatsoever. So it was just her usual play bite or like a boundary bite. Like, don't touch me anymore. I'm really annoyed with you. Don't touch me. That, she's doing that, which I probably was annoying her. So and then it kind of like touched my skin and it hurt, and then I burst into tears basically, and it had nothing to do with her per se, but it was about um I want these people who have hurt me in the past to apologize to me. I want an apology. That's what the feeling what came out, and I just cried and sobbed for like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then I got over it, and then I went back to sleep. And it was a release, maybe like maybe it was one of those somatic releases that just happened spontaneously. Technically it is spontaneous, but at the same time I have been doing a lot of EMDR, which is eye movement, the desensitization reorganization, basically bilateral stimulation, which helps with trauma and trauma events and stuff every morning up until yesterday. I didn't do yesterday, so maybe that's why it came up, because I didn't do it, and then it has a space to release. I'm also sick, if you can't hear me. But the thing is, even though I'm sick, I'm functional, which is annoying because I don't have any excuse not to be functional. I'm still carrying like 6 kilogram of litter. I bought like a litter box for her, which I was like a bit concerned out of from like donation money that people give me in my channel and stuff for her. So I spent it for her. When I'm thinking, oh, I hope this can be used for a while because I don't know how long she'll be here for. It is very optimistic of me to think that she's not gonna be here for a long time, because that means like I'm optimistic that someone's gonna snap her out. Um, because the reality is she is almost an adult cat, like she's a teenager basically. So she doesn't have the cute kitten cuteness anymore, but she still have the zoomies kitten energy. So she's basically like a destructive force without the cuteness element to it, which is, most people usually tolerate destructive things if it's cute, but she has an adult face now, an adult body almost. Also, I needed to buy the new litter box for her because the old one was getting smaller. I just felt like it was fine for her before, but now it was really small. So I guess that she grew a little bit. Her body grew, because she's about 1 year old, so she's still growing. It only has been like almost 2 months. I saw her for the first time on the 1st of June. Today is the 20th of July. So it only has been 2 months, almost exactly soon, that I know her. And it feels like a forever time ago. So weird. I also feel like there's a lot of vigilance happening in out there. Like, when I go to Woolies these days, they have this, and Kmart, they have the security gate now, like where you have when they open and close. And it feels very dystopian, as I said before, because now it feels as if, like, the assumption is you're gonna steal, and it is like a theft privacy prevention mechanism. But when it's in grocery store and when it's in, low price stores like Kmart, it's, I don't know, it's doing my head in, to be honest. If it's like in, suddenly now Burberry and Hermes has one of those gates, I'm like, yeah, I understand. One of those thing can pay someone's car. A bag can pay for someone's two cars. They can get a bag for 100K in Hermes. So it can pay for two cars or three cars if it's like just a regular sedan and small one. Cash too, no loan or anything. So I get it, if they put a barrier on that, like a security. I probably even get it if they get like a proper, this X-ray machine security thing, like those things. Yeah, I definitely like totally understand. Like, those products are being marketed at like 5 grand or 10 grand a pop, which is, I'm not saying that's the actual value um of the products, but I am saying that's what's being marketed as. Um, but where you buy your groceries and where you go to Kmart, you go there because you want to spend like $10, $5 for something new. So it makes you feel a little bit better. So, it's kind of, and at the same time, you also have to remember like Coles and Woolies basically profiting billions and billions of dollars, while the rest of us are, having to live in a cost of living crisis. And they basically making a profit out of food and out of daily necessities. Even Australian government basically have come down on them and saying no price gouging. And I think it's difficult to monitor. It's definitely very difficult to police because, let's face it, they are a duopoly. It's quite difficult to control a duopoly, right? So there's always, and then there are definitely extra securities, especially the ones in the city. So it feels very, I don't know, it just feels very dystopian. It feels very like police everywhere, security everywhere. There is, oh, okay, the separation between the half and the have nots have increased. And now if you are have nots, you are gonna be a lot closer to criminals than you are not, even if you're not, right? I feel like that's the feeling. If you're poor, you are going to be automatically categorized as closer to criminals, and you're gonna be categorized as potentially more likely to do a crime. And that really doesn't sit well with me. I mean, I am definitely poor. Does that mean I'm a, like, now are we criminalizing poverty? That's a question. Or is it a symptom of what's happening in society at the moment, the inequality that is happening, especially Australia? I don't think Australia is the. This kind of question is probably, I don't know if it's a good or a bad question, because if it's in Southeast Asia, it's probably accepted. Like, if you're poor, you're probably gonna do crime a lot more, and there is definitely attachment to that. Like, if crime and poverty is go hand in hand in a lot of ways, it's almost like not even considered a question. But this is Australia, so it's a very different country. It's a different demographic. It's a different lifestyle. And there is even though it's barely there, there is an egalitarian value that is at least is formalized into their national identity to some degree. Because if you go into a citizenship ceremony, like what in one of the, I think, test or questions to reach naturalization is like, what is the values of all Australians. Egalitarian is one of most of them. And giving it a go, meaning like, you try at least, even though maybe you're not qualified for something, you give it a go. So giving it a try, giving someone a chance, this kind of things is a formalized Australian values. But what I'm feeling right now is we are heading towards more of an Asian, not an Asian, but like more of the global value system of poor and rich, which is if you're poor, you are at fault, which is extremely dehumanizing. Um, this is not a well thought process yet. This is me actually just thinking out loud. I haven't reached any conclusion. This is not a done thought. This is not a thought that has been processed. Also, it's very cold. I feel like the pressure of economy right now is building into a pressure cooker, and if Australian government not gonna do anything, it's gonna be very dangerous. I think because I don't know, Australia we only have like what, almost 30 million soonish. Maybe 27 million. I think is it now. So it only has increased by 7 million since I got here, which is 30 years ago. I think 30 years ago there were only like 20 million of Australian. Now it's like 27 million. Um, I don't know what I wanted to make. The point that I wanted to make. There needs to be a solution, especially now boomers are dying because they're in the 80s now. Like the older boomer are in their 80s, so the younger one is about 65. So they're approaching um, old age very quickly. And they're the one that are very rich demographically. The boomers are the richest demographic in Australia. Um, Even though economically they're powerful, physically not so much. And if I see all the current news about crimes and everything, mostly is teenagers, mostly is young people. So I feel like there is this gap because like young people are right now the most affected by the economy, by cost of livings, because everything is so expensive and wage is not keeping up with that is difficult. I feel like if it's not handled properly, there will be a lot of crimes involving older people being done by younger people. But mostly it's because of the divide of the economic disparage, I don't know the word, the divide in the economic gap. But anyway, that's what I feel anyway out there. It just feels very, and I am part of the have nots. I'm part of the poor. I'm part of the people that get suspected for doing something, I think. And when you're poor, it's difficult because I know when I was buying, for example, the litter box, and because it's huge, right? It's like this huge, like 60 centimeters huge, and this big. So it's basically like my whole upper body white, and I didn't have money. I only have what, like maybe $10 in my Opal card, and to go to Buru would probably cost about $5 one way. So I have to do the whole transaction in 1 hour, because if it's done in 1 hour, I pay one way, meaning like I only pay like for one transaction for the Opal card, because they have transfer for the same mode of transportation. So if you go by train, for example, and if you go at outside the train station for within 60 minutes, and then you tap back in, you don't have to pay. It's just part of the transfer, so it's free if it's within 60 minutes. It's the same with other mode of transportation as well. So I use that, so I can buy stuff very quickly. But I was like lugging it on the bus, like this huge little box, for example, and litter, and that I have to carry in my backpack. And that definitely going to make me as if that I'm robbing a place, because I have a huge backpack, and I have like a hat because the sun is blaring at me. Um, and I'm carrying big bags, so it's suspicious. But it's because I'm poor. I don't drive, and I can't pay for an Uber. So it's like, this is the only way I'm going to get this back home. But I definitely noticed that I do get flagged a lot because of what I'm wearing, especially if I'm doing like a grocery run, because I have to put all the grocery into my backpack, because my body is in pain these days. This is not. I'm sorry. I feel like this is becoming a very depressing um, video, but that's what I feel like outside. Like outside, it just felt very dark, very dangerous. That's what it feels like. It's suddenly like Sydney CBD becomes very dangerous. I never ever in my whole life in living in Sydney feels like Sydney CBD is dangerous. It's not as dangerous as other places. I feel like it was just as normal dangerous as it could be. Like on the weekend, you probably have to be a little bit more careful, just because there's just more people, more chances of things going wrong. More, weekend people drink a lot, so there's that. So there's the alcohol influence, and so it's just not like, it's not because CBD is dangerous. It's because it's the weekend is dangerous. Now I feel like the CBD itself is a bit more dangerous, and I don't know. I don't like the feeling of, oh, I have to be careful. I have to have my guard up now, which I never have done before. And like, unless you go to like sus places, like dark corners of the parks, those things you should avoid in general in anywhere in the world. Especially if you're female, highly unfortunately. Our species have not yet evolved into the most civilized one so far, even though it's 2026. I feel like my view of the world is so dark that I don't see any way out for myself. Like, I don't see how I will be able to break away from my current circumstances, and it is. But I'm not depressed, which is impressive for me. Um, Maybe because all the EMDR I'm doing every day, EMDR, bilateral stimulation, you can search it, I guess, and I talk about it a lot. So it's EMDR, and you can just Google it, or bilateral stimulation. It's basically one of the technique that people use to process traumas. I don't. For me, I'm not processing traumas as much now. I'm just I'm using it to regulate myself, but more maintenance wise these days rather than trying to regulate myself from a dysregulation. I'm trying to not reach dysregulation, so I'm trying to use EMDR and bilateral stimulation to keep myself regulated or at least functional to a point. Because I have a cat and I don't want her to be punished just because I am incompetent, you know? My recklessness should only be contained to my own life, not bleed to others, living being that I'm responsible for. At least that's my philosophy anyway. It's getting dark, so maybe 30 minutes is all I have today. And yeah, better than nothing, right? Hope everyone's doing well. And I don't know what the sentiment is out there, but I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully something get better. Anyway, I don't talk about anything here, so I just rant. Hence the name, random stream of consciousness. Um, if you like it, click and subscribe. I'm laughing because like why? And yeah, if you wanna help and support the channel, go to coffee.com/Valerie and you'll just be in the description box below. And I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. I'll see you later. Bye everyone.